Welcome back to What Arty Noobs for General Disturbance. This is the M53, M55, the Tier 9 American SPG. This one's located on the south spawn of Ensk and Glacier, and it's under the command of talon1958, and he's still trying to beat Angelina 75 and get a better result from some of his battles. He sent me in a whole batch of them, so we'll do them in 2 videos. Game on. Well, he's got the big gun, the 18-inch howitzer. 203mm caliber is 900 alpha and 52mm of pen with a standard reload of 40.27 seconds, and we can see that Talon's got it down to 37.25, and he is using premium consumables as well to do that. Okay, well, this is where he's going to fire from. Oh, that Rebel Arise just rammed straight into us as he was trying to get past, and if we'd actually been at the point of aiming, that might have been a bit inconvenient. You can see he's actually got some things in the way, but he's going to go for this Object 274A, changes his mind, and then goes for the Arty, the new Japanese tank destroyer. A lot of these Japanese tank destroyers, by the way, were featured by What Arty Noobs way back in 2017. Yes, as far back as 6 years ago, we featured them and proposed that they might actually make their way into the game as either tank destroyers or as self-propelled guns. In fact, a lot of the Japanese tank destroyers have ended up that way. Well, his first shot didn't actually yield anything, and the Batchat 25 TAP he was aiming at has actually, well, actually it wasn't the one he was aiming at. The Arty died, and the Arty, no, the Arty didn't die. It was the Batchat 25 TAP that died. He's now waiting for the reload to complete, and we just saw the tracer coming out from a short distance away, showing that that's where the enemy Arty is. Rounds out in the T-32. That was an AFK, and yes, Talon did see where the enemy Arty was firing from, but he's decided against going for it just yet. Instead, he's thinking about getting this Alpine Tiger. Unfortunately, his teammates have lost sight of the Alpine Tiger. Common problem for all Arty players that your teammates don't keep track of the enemy, and consequently you're just about to fire and they disappear from sight and you don't know where they've gone. Almost loaded, and now the target's behind cover. Yeah, just the way, but instead he's going to go for the Arty again. Rounds out. Well, yes, he definitely got that one. The shell landed right to one side of the Arty, but it was enough to overwhelm him and take him out of the game. So he got 189 from that one. Okay, the A phase 1's coming to sight now. It does seem like the Rebel Arise that ran into him a while back has actually taken up position a short distance away, so he can actually act as a guard to prevent anybody coming down the road. And also, well, he's acting like a bodyguard, a loyal and faithful puppy who's sitting nearby, not really taking part in the battle, but potentially could be quite useful in the event the enemy ever comes in Talon's directions. He's still trying to work out precise position, but I think he said that's where it looks like the Arty's coming from. Okay, can't hit the 274. A lot of this indecision is actually costing him hit points, and that could cost him the result. He needs to make a decision. There's another shot by the Arty. Fires the round in. Oh! Definitely got that one in the side of the Alpine Tiger. And last, we got the position, and yes, it was exactly where he was looking. It's the 212A. And he was exactly where we were looking, but he's changed position now because he got spotted. In fact, I think he got spotted by one of our tanks up the other end of the map. In fact, there's a Barask up there, and I think he was the one who spotted the 212A. And again, we've got no targets to fire at, but now the 212A is coming to sight. He's aiming towards the Barask. He just hit the Barask for a lot of hit points, and we're about to fire. Rounds out. Yes, that's a kill. Got revenge. He actually kill-stealed away from the Barask. And it looks like this battle's going to be over momentarily because there's only 2 left and they're both out in the field. Yay Phase 1 and the Object 274A. And Talon's following them, but unfortunately he's not going to be loaded in time to get any shots in. And they're both out the game, so the game's over. Here's the end of battle stats, that first battle, and it's only a 3rd class tanker for talon1958 in the M53, M55. He got a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He managed to get, well, it only shows 2, but apparently you won't get the Bruiser if you do get 5 critical hits in a row, and I suspect that's what he did. He got 705 on the win 8. Unfortunately, that's not enough to beat Angelina. She had a 3rd class on her battle in the 212A. And yes, unfortunately, she got a much better win 8 figure. So that means that Talon didn't get enough to actually beat Angelina. We can see that she's way down the table. We won't go through the rest of the stats because, after all, we just want to see if he can beat Angelina. And on this occasion, he came out with a profit of 63,360 credits. Not bad, because he got a mission completion in there. And he got 1,857 XP from the game as well. So let's have a look at the second battle and see if Talon can beat Angelina with that one. The second replay is on the Glacier map, and this time Talon is in the Grille.
Let's get this show on the road.
Well, this is the Tier 5 German SPG with a 15cm howitzer based on the hull of a Hetzer or Panzer 38T to be precise. It's actually a very efficient hull, and you can see, well, after all, the Germans did make good use of the 38T, mainly because it was actually built at their factory, or the Pilsen factory, in the Czech Republic, or what was known as Czechoslovakia. He just got spotted by that T-52, so he has to hug the rock now, because if he doesn't, the enemy Arty might have a go at him. But the enemy is in a Bishop or an M41 HMC, and the M41 HMC can certainly aim it out this far. So for the first few minutes of this game, he's going to actually have to fire from behind the rock or find a new firing position altogether. That T-52 is not helping him as well, because that guy's got a very long spotting range, and so it actually worked against him that he went close to the lake edge right at the start of the game. Now this is a much better firing position, although I suspect that rock just in front of him might actually cause problems, but he's going to have a go from here. Okay, let's see what he can do from this spot. Well, he's looking towards the center of the map, and yes, there's a VK3018 out there who seems to be either, oh, he's not AFK, he's just stopped for a moment, probably to type something. Rounds out, looks good. Well, it dug a hole in the ice, but apparently the tank wasn't there at the moment he got hit. But he has been stunned. Well, he's not the only one who's been stunned, actually. Okay, got into the trees now, which is much better for his safety, because he won't be spotted by the enemy whilst he's in here, unless they get very, very close indeed. In fact, now he's actually decided to go right round the back, which is where I normally go, actually, I must admit, because from these positions you can actually shoot at the enemy a long way away, and that looked to be an enemy, a short-range Arty, way over on the other side. Now he can just about reach that M4A1. Oh, he fires the shell in at the position he was previously in, and unfortunately we don't get anything from that one at all. The enemy Arty and our Arty actually do both contain a Bishop. So the Bishop's a short-range Arty. We did see a Arty shell arcing through the sky. That may have been our opposite number shooting at our teammates. In fact, actually, no, we can see him. He's only a short distance away. And it looks like he's being engaged by the enemy ones as well. In fact, he's just taken some hits. And so he's losing hit points now. Now, Talon's driving over into this little quarter here, which should be able to give him good shots at the centre. But the problem is, from this position, it makes it very difficult for him to get decent shots over on this side of the map. He's actually now able to hit that T-67. He's just dialing in. unfortunately, again, our teammates lose sight of the enemy, and then we can't shoot because we can't see where the target is. And he quickly changes to look for another target to fire at. And the next one he spots is the M4A1. This is where we're constantly looking towards the minimap, trying to work out where the next shot should go. Rounds out, looks good. Looks very good. And it's a direct hit. Okay, so that's another shot that he won't know the damage for until the end of the game. Again, he's getting closer to the enemy, but he's still safe from the spot. That T-52 is still out in the center of the map, but we can't get any shots on him for the moment. Okay, T-67's come back into sight. And Talon is styling in, letting it settle before he shoots. He's very careful to make sure that it's accurate. And that's very accurate because it hit the target. And the T-67's got a very thin armor, so that could have been a penetrating shot. We'll just have to wait to see. Okay, over to the ring road again. A20 this time. He's sitting behind that rock. Rounds out. And yes, he does get some damage. In fact, he tracked the guy whilst he was damaged, and that actually helped our teammates to get some shots and finish him off. So he'll get the assist off that one. 229 hit points of spotting assist or damage assist. Well, it actually counts as stun assist because he did stun the guy instead of... They're not counting the tracking. I suppose if there's a difference between tracking and the damage, then they'll take the stun instead. Our box tank, or that's the enemy's box tank, is actually making his way over to the tree line. Talon fires it in. Well, it was a bit of a... It was a fairly... Well, it wasn't quite snap, but he was trying to guess exactly where the tank was going. But he knew that that box tank was going to move off into cover. So he took the chance, and that was the correct decision to make. Over on the west side of the map, we can see that the bishop on the enemy team actually came around the northwest corner, and he's got a Tiger 131, but we've got a large number of teammates in that area, so if he does try to come from that direction, he is going to suffer. Meanwhile, their box tank is trying to take a really defensive position. Talon fires a shell in, long range shot, so long time. Yes, he got some stun. The thing with long range shots like that is you have to leave a long enough lead on the target. So you have to fire extra early in order to get the shell, because it's got a long way to travel. Now he's aiming in this spot because there's a Jagdpanzer Spear somewhere in that area. The T-52's retreated. Oh, it's almost flipped himself. Oh, he did flip himself. Oh. Well, Talon's shot did go in, but it was the Leopard who actually got the kill. I think that shell warning might have made the T-52 turn suddenly, and as a result he flipped over, and that's when the Leopard managed to get the kill shot. So I'm pretty sure Talon did have some effect upon that T-52 and caused him to make a mistake. Still looking for that Jagdpanzer Fear, who's somewhere in the vicinity. There's the Tiger 131. So he came back from the northwest corner. Talon styling in. Okay, round out. No, he didn't. He got a rescue bloom. He did fire there, but it should be... Oh, it's right at the edge of the reticule. Not what I was hoping for. Not what Talon was hoping for that matter. In fact, now we're driving towards the enemy cap. Looks like most of their team has retreated, and they've pulled back to guard their cap area. Our guys are coming up the west side of the map as well as this end. Okay, he's picked a good spot here. Got the buildings in his favor. He can get shots on the enemy, so long as our teammates can see them. The Jagdpanzer Fear is hiding behind that rock there. It's not a good spot from there, but he can hit the box tank now, and he's fully dialed in. Rounds out. He got something there. 173 hit points. That was a good shot. The guy managed to pull back because he got advance warning. In fact, it looks to me like he's changing his position there to defend against anybody coming in from the west. Okay, fired another shot blind just in case he was still there. I was wondering actually if Talon was actually going to go out onto the ice and go across the centre, because from the centre of the map he can actually fire into the enemy base and wouldn't have the obstructions that are blocking us from shooting at the M55 at the moment. Now he's picked a spot just over the ridgeline from that M55, and ooh, well, this is interesting. He's going for the IKV 65 too, and that guy's got thin armour. In fact, he's about to die. Oh, he died before Talon's shell arrived. The Fury got him. And now we're going after the Tiger 131. But he's disappeared out to the ice. Okay, now we can see him. We're not loaded yet. Our teammates are out there. Rounds out. Oh, and he took a round right up his rear. And it came in from the Wizzy 131 GFT. Now we're going for the Tiger, the T1 Heavy. He's gone. That means there's only 2 left on the enemy team. That box tank we fired at earlier and a T67 who must have retreated in this direction because we've already passed where he was last seen and he was on the ring road. And that noise was actually the death of one of our tanks, and another of our tanks has just died. They're being picked off by those tank destroyers. So they must be fairly close to the front of the trees, because otherwise they wouldn't be able to see our guys to shoot at them. There's one of them. Just knocked a tree down. Rounds out. Okay, we can see the trees being knocked down to provide cover and shooting positions for their tank destroyers. There's the box tank. And he has lost a fair amount of hit points. Talon's going to go for him in preference to the T67. Rounds out. Well, he stunned him, but he got rid of the stun very quickly, and our T67 takes the last kill of the game. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was the second-class tanker for talon1958 in the Grille. And well, without any further prompting, I can tell you that means he is definitely in the lead now, because Angelina only managed to get a third class, which is shown here, third class and a bruiser, and Talon now has beaten that with a second class and a bruiser on this map. Yes, he got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 9 in total, and his win rate from that battle was 2,118, which is very good indeed. If we look at the team score, we can see, yes, he did hit some of the tanks, which he actually did blind hit. The T67, that was a blind hit. He did penetrate him. Got 466 hit points of damage off that guy. And he also splashed the A20. He hit the M4A1 with 1 hit. And another blind hit was that BK3001H in the middle of the map. He got 152 off him, and only 173 off the box tank. But it was a good game. If we look at the team scores, we can see that in actual fact, when it came to damage, he was actually in 3rd place overall. Fourth place overall, because the Fury, the high scorer was the box tank, who got the high caliber for 2,508. Second place was the Fury on his team with 2,463, and third place was the Tiger 131 with 2,042. He picked up a cool-headed. And then we've got Talon with 1,072 hit points. So 4th place on this game. We look at detail, we can see that he actually managed to get 20,547 credits profit and 3,235 XP from the battle. So he did fairly well in this game, but well enough to actually take the lead from Angelina. So, yes, let's have a look at those 2 games again. Well, that's the M53, M55. You can see 3rd class and a bruiser and a win rate of only 705. That didn't match Angelina's score, but this definitely exceeds it. So we do know that Talon is now in the lead, and Angelina's got to do better than 3rd class if she's going to get that weekend lie-in. So I suspect that she's going to be sending in a few replays in the next couple of hours or days just before Sunday to get that weekend lie-in. After all, she missed it last week. But Talon has sent another couple of replays, so we'll do those directly after this video. and then you'll get a chance to see if he managed to beat Angelina again. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.